Some of the most important real estate in the world is on the island of Manhattan. A lot of people need to get in and out of that island each day to run the business of this country. And since it's an island, needless to say, New York City is a city of bridges. For quite some time, a lot of bridges in New York had been showing their age. Do you remember the childhood song, London Bridge is Falling Down? That had a special meaning when the Williamsburg Bridge had to close several years ago, cutting off a major access route to Manhattan. During an inspection of the Williamsburg Bridge, they found serious weaknesses in major supports. The sad part was, it didn't have to be that way. In fact, one engineer was quoted as saying, if only this bridge had been regularly maintained, we'd be celebrating a bridge's centennial instead of holding its funeral. The bridge maintenance had been neglected. In Hebrews 2, verse 1, we read, we must pay more careful attention to what we have heard so that we do not drift away. And then jumping over to verse 3, we also read, how shall we escape if we neglect such a great salvation? These passages refer to something that is so invisible but so common and easy to fall into. It talks about drifting away spiritually, that slow but steady process of getting away from our first love. Over the years, you may have gone from being a warm Christian and because of neglect to reading God's Word or attending church services. You have now become spiritually cold that will lead to eventual collapse. In verse 3 was the word neglect. So if we no longer fellowship with God on a daily basis, we will not be able to overcome any problems that may come our way. Neglect is a silent killer of spiritual commitments. You can't stand as a follower of Christ without daily maintenance. Neglect, a silent killer of what you can't afford to lose.